Hi guys, I'm Mr. Zamora, and this is your biology course with me. The structure of my courses are pretty much the same, so if you're not enrolled in 1407, which is Biology 2, you're still going to see the same structure. So I'm going to use a Biology 2 course as an example here. When you log into Blackboard, which is how this course is going to be administered by me as your instructor, when you first log in and you go to this course, it's going to take you to the Start Here page. And then you'll see this menu bar here on the side where there's going to be a lot of great options for you, especially the first ones above this first divider line. On this page here, you're going to see book information there. You're going to see my contact information. I'm not going to read through it. You can see it yourself there. There is going to be this folder here at the top, so click there, and when you go in there and enter it, Blackboard's working a little slow right now, but when you enter in there, it will give you the lockdown browser download if you don't already have it installed on your device, and it works for your PC, laptop, or desktop. There, if you have Mac, there's a version for it. And those of you guys who may be taking classes from the high school, if you have a Chromebook, your coordinators were supposed to install this on you. That was the request made for this fall, so it should already be on there. Down here's where your syllabus is, and you just click on there, and that'll get you your syllabus. It has all your information there, the course description, my contact information, which is the same on the earlier page. Here's my schedule here, including my office hours, where we can meet here virtually online, and we can meet face-to-face in that way. I intend to be available to students online 5 days out of the week for both 1406 and 1407. There's the schedules there. You can log in during that time. I'll show you where. It's called Collaborate Ultra. You can come in and ask questions, or I may decide on that day nobody shows up, I'm going to cover a topic anyway, and we'll try to record and make it available to you. I recommend showing up with questions, though, over the material. This is a fully online course, and everything is structured to guide you through the course. There's lecture videos, there's laboratory videos, and there's all kinds of resources, and I'll show you where to find those. Program and learning course outcomes are all here, all the stuff you see on any other syllabus. How you're going to be graded, the breakdown is here. We have lecture and laboratory, lecture 75%, and then there's a breakdown detailed here. Your 25% for lab, the breakdown is here. Go through that. How your grade is determined, I'll talk a little bit more about that as the semester goes on, but you might look over that and see what it says there. Your assignments are going to be given through Blackboard. So just go through this here. I don't want to make this video too long here, but a little bit of advice on not waiting until the last minute and not cramming. This course is like any other material structure-wise, like any other science course. You're given 3 hours of lecture every week to cover material. It'll take you 3 hours to get through it. Not more than 3 hours, but it should take you 3 hours. And the laboratory, normally when we meet in a face-to-face, is 3 hours. You're going to be given up to 3 hours of lab. It's not always all 3 hours, but it will be up there. A pro tip, by the way, guys, if you're watching a lecture video, you can speed it up to, there's a little settings option on the bottom where it's playing. There'll be a settings there, and you can speed it up to 1.5 times. 2 might be too fast, but it's depending on your preference. And if you do that, it'll shorten the time to take you through there. Because as I'm teaching, I do a lot of pausing here and there, and so if you want to avoid that or shorten that pausing, you can play it faster, and then you can always pause and go back if you need to, or at least pause it so you can write down your notes. And rewind if you need. So that's important. And guys, the idea of 3 hours lecture, 3 hours lab, that's how much time you would be meeting to cover material during a normal face-to-face class. So this, you're getting credit for the same kind of class here. So this online environment is simulating that sort of situation. You're given these hours of material to cover, and that's to cover it through all the way through once, and that's for understanding and in order to develop questions you might have over the material that you can direct towards me. That's not the same as studying the material to learn it, so that you can recreate that information, which you'll be asked to understand that information on exams. So you still need to make time to study it. So there's a little bit of information there on how to go about doing that, and I have a time budget to help you manage your time for your other classes if you have a job and all of that other stuff on there. In fact, one of your first assignments will be to do a time budget for yourself. Here's book information here. This is an online class. You need to make sure you have reliable access to the internet. If you're, depending on what class you have, there'll be a short little supply list of things that you want to think about getting, because I do create things that you can do at home, and they require some basic materials you might already have. You might already have a ruler, plastic bags, and so on, beans that you can work on if we're going to do a plant growth study. Along with the virtual labs online. So I like to get students to try to do hands-on things there, just a kitchen lab, and or just something you do right outside in the yard. Then here are my expectations here. All the information there. Lab safety is virtual lab, right? But I mean, you can have an accident, walk into your computer, right? And so just go through it so you're familiar with what lab safety is. There's also lab safety instruction given in your first lab. As well. Your student code of conduct, I want to be clear on this. The notes are not open book. They're not open notes, the tests and quizzes. They're not open devices, so you're not supposed to have any smart devices or any other screens. I'm not going to have a virtual computer running in your background. All of those things would be grounds for losing credit for any major test or exam, which can be negatively impact your grade. Plus, it would be considered academic dishonesty, and there is consequences for that in the student handbook. For written communications, you can send me an email, but I get emails from everywhere, and Blackboard has changed recently overall. They updated it. It's harder for me to see notifications. So the best way to get a hold of me will be through Teams. So make sure you look at the email I sent everybody last week, or you can look at the syllabus, and it gives you information on how to get on Teams, so that you can message me. And it's actually a lot easier than email. Like a lot of times I'll get back to you within the hour or within the minute if I see the message come up while I'm working on the computer. And then here's the tentative schedule. It is tentative. It is subject to change, but it's for both lecture and lab. So make sure you review through that syllabus, read over it on your own as you have time. It is the policies for the course. So going back to this, that link where it says start here, you can have access to the email I sent. So if you didn't get it, when you log in here, that email, a copy of it is there in this click here. And this video is going to be in the start here page. So I'm going to go ahead and link it. It's not linked there yet. But when you click on there, you open it up, has the email. It will also have below my signature there, it'll have how to get on Teams. So make sure you follow the one. Don't follow this one if you're in Biology 1. So if you're going to pause the video, don't look at this one, because this one is for Biology 2. Okay, so make sure you look at the right email for Biology 1, because we don't want you to get enrolled in the wrong teams there. So be clear on that. So please do not use this video to say, well, there's my information for getting on. No, this is only for Biology 2, and it's for this semester. So next semester, it's going to be different information. So make sure you stick to that email that I did send you that's accessible there. Here is a link to get you to download Lockdown Browser if you don't already have it on your device. And then make sure you know if you're working on a Mac system, go and click on here so you can get your Mac version of it, because it'll be different. Okay. So that's there. So again, the video for this overview is going to be there within that folder as well. Also, you may choose to play it at 1.5 times the speed so you can get through everything more quickly. So there's your syllabus. There's more information down here. Here's your essential course information. And the thing about it is a lot of it is the stuff that's on your syllabus as you scroll down through it, your textbook information, and so on. If you want to know a little bit more about my background, you might want to read that if you'd like. That's my hand actually holding a little bird called a white-eyed vireo. I used to do a lot more field work with birds and reptiles and amphibians. As where my areas of interest are. So that's all there on the start page. Any virtual class sessions, those tutorials that are on the schedule, should be logged in where it says collaborate. And when you click on it, it'll take you and it'll look like this here. And what you do is you would click on here. And then over here it says join the course room. And it'll open up a new tab just like this, and you'll enter it as your name here. You can choose to put on video, your microphone if you want to ask questions. There'll be a little sidebar here where you can type in a chat message if you'd rather not talk. And there'll be some place, you'll be able to have a little more ability to share content and so on. And so that's how you're going to work with Collaborate Ultra. So that'll be where we can meet for those virtual lecture tutoring sessions. And then office hours is a similar one. It's more of a guest link. So if you click on there, it's not going to be active till like 7 a.m. and then it'll be active all semester. So this is where you would go for office hours. Just message me and let me know you want to meet. Otherwise, I won't be burdening the Blackboard system by being logged on for office hours. But I do have my office hours there on the schedule, on the syllabus. And if otherwise, if you need to meet at some other time, we can do that. It could be, say, early evening or earlier morning. Just make sure I don't have anything else scheduled. So you always want to go back to my syllabus and look at my schedule. Just look for blank spaces and say, can you meet at that time? And we can arrange to meet during that time. So there's your office hours. Now, if you wanted to say, well, how do I quickly start on this course? And I'm going to go ahead and look at all that stuff later. One of the best places to go here will be your weekly assignments. So you're going to go here, you click on there, it'll open up a document. And right now I have week 1 filled out. Okay. Week 2 just has when all the quizzes are due. That's the last moment where you can get your quizzes in. We want to set deadlines that way everything is done and you're ready to start the new fresh material for the week. I do have a suggested schedule to follow for both the lecture on the top and the laboratory on the bottom. So I'm just writing in, say, if you spend about an hour a day, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, then roughly I've written down what is about that. It might not be exactly an hour. It might be less than an hour one day, more on another day, and so on. And this way you can do the 3 hours, not all at one time like we normally do face-to-face, but you can do it in chunks that way. I do have quizzes. And while the quizzes are announced here, like for the lecture quiz on chapter 23 and then 25, while those quizzes are announced there, that's just going to be the day I open them up. So they'll be there available, and I'm suggesting you take them now rather than waiting until the last minute. In other words, you're covering the lecture material timely, and you're giving yourself space to be able to cover laboratory as well. During a face-to-face class, we would meet for a 3-hour lab. So on the bottom, this is a suggested schedule. You can make your own schedule. It's online. This is just a suggestion. But this material and those quizzes are available for this week, and the deadline for those quizzes are on that Sunday because Monday we start a new week of material. So I'll end up filling this in for the following week, and then you keep going week by week to see what's being due. Okay. Exams are going to have absolute real hard deadlines we got to get. They're going to be opened up for a window of about 3 days once I list them on there. And you can take them at any point from the first day they're open at 12 midnight all the way until that third day. But at that end, when that window closes, that's it. You've missed the test. So please refer to the syllabus for missed exams. I'm a little more flexible with quizzes, but you don't want to put those off, because if you put off quizzes, you're falling behind, and that's not good. Okay, so there's one for 1407. This is 1407. So if you're in 1406, you're in my anatomy classes, 2401. don't look at what you see in there, but you'll have a calendar similar to this. Okay, that's the point. So you go there for the weekly calendars. Now, where are all these fine assignments that they're going to be under course content? Okay, so when you go to course content, there's going to be 4 items. There's going to be your weekly assignments folder. There's going to be your exams and quizzes, which is where you'll go to take your quizzes. So if you have a lecture quiz, you're going to go, you click on there. There's that browser download. If you haven't downloaded it, there's the place where you'll find the link. You only need to download it once. Let's say you have a lecture quiz that's opened up for you, and then remember they're all due by the Sunday of the end of the day on Sunday. So like everything from this week, the deadline is going to be this coming Sunday. And so you click on there, and you notice there's 2 folders, one for lecture quizzes and one for lab quizzes. So if you're going to take a lecture quiz, you would go in here, and the quiz would be listed in there. Okay, so then I'll have quizzes listed in there, and then the next week there'll be more quizzes and so on. And eventually, as time progresses, I'll start moving those quizzes into a prior quiz folder. The quizzes themselves are going to be open all semester, but you want to take them week by week. The exams will not. The exams will be open on a window, and if you miss it, that's it. The link is gone, and we're going to have to see what we can do if there's a really good excuse. The idea is get them out of the way, you're falling behind, and that's never good. So there's there, if you need to take lab quizzes, there's the lab quiz folder there. And then going back to course content here, any assignments, there's not going to be many assignments to turn in for a grade. There's going to be 2 at the very beginning. Get them turned in, do them right, easy hundreds. We start off with hundreds on the semester, and they're listed there on the calendar. Okay, so here's where you would go to submit your assignments, and those are your assignment links already. There's one for a student lingo workshop that I want you to watch and work through. And you're going to be submitting 2 items that are there in the instructions, and then your time budget to submit. There I have some soft deadlines. These assignments are going to be open all semester, but get them done now, especially the time budget. We don't want to have a major exam coming up and you still haven't done these. So I say, hey, do this one on Monday. Do it today on Monday, and then just turn it in. If not, try to turn it in by Tuesday, end of the day, because there's other things to cover all the time. Same with the time budget. I said Wednesday, let's shoot for Wednesday to get it done and out of the way, because there's other things that need to be done. But in order to submit them, once you do the assignment, you've done it on your computer, you click on it, and here it has the information, and all you're going to do is you're going to click on the browse your computer to go and find your assignments. Say I'm going to submit 2 assignments there, or 2 documents like is required for the first one. You go and you select them both, you open it, you can see how it's attached them there to the file, and then you submit, and it'll submit that assignment for you when you click on there. Okay, so that's the way that would work, and then I'll be able to see that and then go and grade it. So your assignments would be submitted there. You're going to have 3 lab reports during the semester, for example. I'll give you guidance on how to put those together. They would be submitted through here. Now, where's the actual assignments? Every week, you are going to go to that first folder. So again, that's under course content. Here it says your 1406 or 1406, same structure. So this is for biology 2, your biology 1, same thing. Weekly assignments, you go there, and then I'm going to have week 1. So this week we'll have week 1. Now, what do you need to do? It's on the calendar, but where can you go to find the actual assignments? They're in here. So you have to be on Blackboard. You come in here and you go to week 1, and there's going to be a link there, and it's a link. You click on it, and it says week 1 activities. Okay. And then here's a menu. Here's your first assignments, your lecture assignments, and your laboratory assignments. Okay. They're all in the same document. Those links just take you to those different locations on the document. And then here's on the first week, I'm going to have this here. This is just helpful items. You won't see it in any other documents, but this document will be active in week 1 all semesters. You can go there if you want to look at how to study for a biology course. So you click on there and it takes you to study tips, for example. This is from a college called Butte College. There's one from University of Rhode Island, it's a shorter one. And then, so there's other helpful items. And if you want to go back to the menu, just scroll down to the bottom of the page and it'll say back to contents. and it'll take you back up there. There's interacting with your notes, how to use your notes to study, your syllabus, and then some practice assignments. They're practice, they're not for a grade, right? So you got to interact. So it's just suggestions for what you can do, plus whatever I have on the actual assignment link. So for your first assignments, this is the description for the lecture assignment number 1. This is just a workshop. It's about note-taking and study tips here, and it's just a step-by-step directions here on how to get through it. Estimated time for this one assignment is 30 minutes. The workshop itself takes 25 minutes to get through in segments. And then your time budget one here, and then these are just the steps to get it completed and submitted correctly. I estimate about 30 minutes because there's a 20-minute video that explains how to do the time budget. But if you put, when you go and you click on it to play it, if you hit 1.5 times, it'll take less than 20 minutes. It'll take like 15 minutes or so. If you double the speed, you can always pause it, right? Then it'll take 10 minutes to get through. So up to about 30 minutes to get this one done. This one, you're going to have to download a spreadsheet, and you're going to work on it on Excel and then submit the Excel file. Make sure you just follow the directions very carefully. The first assignment asks you to submit PDFs on there, and I even have a document that shows you how to go through it on there. So those are, as you can see, somebody's logged in already. So somebody's got up this morning and already has access to the course. So again, what we're seeing here is for 1407, but the same for 1406. So for lecture, when you go there, well, what are my lecture assignments? Go to the calendar. It's going to suggest you do this on these days. If you don't, then make sure you do it at some point. And the structure is going to be the same. There's going to be supplemental material. This is not your actual material you need to cover. It's just additional things. If you want to see an animation or an explanation of something, these are there. There's some practice questions over the chapter right here. It'll take you to an old book, older edition website where you can actually get practice multiple choice questions. And when you click submit, it grades it for you, gives you an option to email me results. It's not for a grade. You can email me if you want to just be excited about the grade you want, and I don't mind. I'll celebrate with you on that, but it's not actual for grade, it's practice. The actual assignment starts below the box. Your learning objectives by section. There's a lecture video, and again, it gives you the time there, 15 minutes, but that's at regular speed. If you go to 1.5, it'll take less time. So it's your preference, right? If you need to hear it slower, then play at full speed or regular speed. If not, speed it up. And but make sure you're taking notes, you're active. And then there are study questions here. It's one document, but I have it linked to take you to a specific spot on the document. So you can see the document here has questions for each section. And so sometimes students say, well, I don't know what to study. Well, this is one way to do it. You have these questions. They can either guide you through the content with your textbook, read it. You can watch the lecture video and then try to answer these questions. Or you can use these questions to self-assess. Way before you examine, a method for studying is testing yourself over the material. Like if you look at a question and you can't answer it, you might not be ready for the test, right? So they could be used several ways. I just call them study questions, which I wrote based on the way they used to write like study guides for textbooks. So you're going section by section, and so if we were meeting face-to-face, we would have a 3-hour lecture. That's the way they arrange it. So there would be 3 hours of lecture, and we would be going through this all in one day on a 3-hour period. And so I usually would give breaks, right? So you don't have to do this all in one sitting. And that's the thing where I'm suggesting that maybe you build your schedule, that time budget, and you schedule yourself at least an hour each day just to cover the material. You still also need to schedule time to study as well. So that's the reason for the time budget. And so you get through all of this. There's actually two chapters, part of chapter 23 and all of chapter 25 if you're in 1407. 1406 is just one chapter for them. It's there though. It's on that assignment document. So you get through all of this here. It's section by section, lecture video, And then the actual lecture video would keep running to the next section. When you get to the end of the section, you can pause it. You'll know because you'll see me say, here's a new section and the objectives, and then study questions for each one. Once you get to the end, there's a little reminder that there's going to be quizzes available to you, but when the quizzes are available, it'll be there on the calendar, right? So again, if you're in my Biology 1 class or in my Anatomy class, there'll be a document similar to this, but for your course. I'm just using 1407 as an example. Okay. Now, when you're done there, if you go to my calendar, as a suggested pace, it's up to you. But either way, all of this needs to get done. You can do all of the lecture in one day if you want, right? But again, that's going to take just at least about 3 hours to get through the material. Okay. And I should say that the student lingo and time budget, that's actually usually what I give as an extra homework, because I don't give a lot of homework. I give things you need to study. That's your homework. It's studying. Okay, so, but if I was to say, well, do you give any homework assignments? I give like maybe 2 plus some lab reports. And then the rest is quizzes and tests. The quizzes are like you're testing yourself, mini test over the quiz. But these right here would be these added assignments that are not actually part of the lecture. So they're not actually factored into the 3 hours from this week. They are factored into part of that extra study time that you need to spend outside of class covering the material. So you can see here, lecture, I'm in this suggested schedule, lecture for 3 days, and then the last 2 days you do your labs, work on the lab. Maybe an hour and a half one day, an hour and a half the other day. And there should be a quiz listed there after this. So there'll be lab quizzes as well. So that's how you use that. And so when you go back here, where's the laboratory material? The laboratory material will be on that same document. So here are the instructions for the lab for this week, and for 1406 or 2401, there'll be instructions for the lab there. You can see there's links throughout there. Some of them are video tutorials over some concept. Some is going to be video of me explaining how to do this or that overall, but you still need your lab manual because it gives background, it gives images and other things that is your reference, right? So that's basically it. Use the calendar. What do I need to do this week? And then you go to course content right here. And all your assignments are going to be in the weekly folders. So there's your thing, and the assignments are there. So Blackboard actually will log whether or not you're using this document and whether or not you're looking at other things. And so I'd like to make sure that I see everyone is gotten started right away and you're going through this material, because next week is new material. We hit the ground running. It's college, right? So a college science course. And so again, get on Teams, guys. That's going to be the best way to get a hold of me. If you try to email me, you're going to be buried in emails that I get from outside of college all over the place, and I might not even see it ever. It could go to junk mail. Okay, so get on Teams and message me there. Blackboard used to be easier for me to see when messages came in. I have to purposely look, so it's going to be almost like emailing me to normal email. I would get on Teams. Okay, so I look forward to a great semester with you guys. Any science course I've ever taken has been really cool, learning new things. I'm here to help you and to address any concerns you have. And so get on Teams and message me personally to say hello. I'll respond back to you, I promise. I'll see you guys during the week. Take care for now.